Hello and welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this program we take a look at the latest releases. Today let's take a look at the big film that has come out from the south. It's called Devara. Devara Part 1 represents yet another installment from the genre characterized by its portrayal of hyper-masculine figures who engage in singing, dancing and fighting, often in slow motion. This is the kind of cinema where every detail has to be articulated in the most exaggerated manner. While the narrative could have been effectively conveyed in 1 hour, the extensive use of slow motion extends the runtime to nearly 3 hours, leaving the film with minimal substance. And this is just part 1. In light of recent success of several films from South India, starting with Bahubali, filmmakers have embraced the concept of creating pan-Indian cinema. Consequently, from the Hindi film industry, we have Saif Ali Khan, who takes on the role of the antagonist, while Janhvi Kapoor is cast as the romantic interest of one of the two characters played by NTR Jr. Directed by Kortala Siva, this Telugu film has been dubbed into multiple languages. And speaking of Janhvi Kapoor, her entry in the film is after interval and her exit is well before the film ends. Describing the narrative of Devara Part 1 as trivial and nonsensical would be an understatement. I have seen children play with toy guns with more enthusiasm and smartness than the execution of the action sequences in this film. One cannot help but question the quality of the story and the writing. Did the filmmakers genuinely believe that this was their finest work, or was it merely a haphazard assembly of ideas presented in a manner intended to entice the audience? I suspect it is the latter. A kid says in the film, "Kya baba bas karo, mujhe Devara ki kahani sunni hai," which pretty much echoes the sentiment of the audience. The kahani is scarcely present from the outset. The film opens in 1996, just prior to the Cricket World Cup, where a group of police officers are apprehensive about potential disruptions caused by the underworld gangster named Yeti. In their pursuit of Yeti, the officers go to a coastal village where an elderly gentleman, played by Prakash Raj, recounts the legend of Devara to the officers. Now, the officers seem to have all the time in the world to indulge in this tale reminiscent of folklore. So from the Cricket World Cup, the focus shifts to a ritual involving worship of weapons, which is known as Shastra Puja, and this involves 4 different villages. This leads to fierce competition among the villagers, with the victor claiming the weapons as a form of blessing, though the subsequent use of those weapons remains unclear. We are introduced to Devara, played by NTR Jr., the champion who has remained undefeated for many years. Unlike Michael Phelps, who has earned a few silver and bronze medals, Devara stands out as the undisputed champion. Saif Ali Khan plays Bhairava, another formidable figure from the village who aspires to win the prized weapons in the competition, but ultimately he falls short. Devara, Bhairava and the other villagers are skilled in hijacking containers from ships at sea. An action sequence unfolds aboard a ship, but what should have been a meticulously choreographed fight action scene devolves into a rather ordinary spectacle. For instance, one villager, spotting naval authorities searching the ship for contraband, finds himself without a hiding place. He notices an open door of a container and conceals himself inside. As the officers attempt to force the door open, he secures it with his arm. Realizing that his friend may soon be unable to maintain his grip, Devara diverts the officers' attention. However, the man inside the container chooses to open the door, leap onto the roof and hide there, something he could have done in the first place instead of almost breaking his arm into 2. The issue with the film lies in the fact that despite an abundance of action, none of the sequences are executed with any notable finesse. When Devara and Bhairava have a disagreement, Devara chooses to protect the sea and subsequently disappears from the narrative. This leads us to Vara, which is played by NTR Jr. once again, who is Devara's son, who makes an entry in the kind of shirt that tourists wear at Baga Beach. At this juncture, a romantic element must be introduced because the female characters, which is primarily Devara's mother, played by Zarina Wahab, and his wife, played by Shruti Marathe, are occupied with their concerns for the male protagonist. Janhvi Kapoor plays Thangam, who harbors feelings for Vara. However, her role is similarly limited to worrying about her male partner. Sadly, that's the only contribution of the women to this film. The romantic subplot is uninspired and tedious, with the accompanying song being so lackluster that it tempts you to answer nature's call when nature is not even calling. The performances of the actors are commendable, yet they are constrained by a tedious script. Whether it is NTR Jr., Saif Ali Khan or the supporting cast, their dedication is evident. Devara Part 1 is ambitious in its aspirations but falls short in terms of originality. When Part 2 comes out, I hope that the filmmakers would treat the audience's intelligence with greater consideration. I'm going to go with 2 out of 5 stars for the new Telugu film which is dubbed in Hindi and other languages called Devara Part 1. Well, that's what I thought of the film that was released this week. Do let us know what you think. And I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.